Hello and welcome to this TTG Spain Fest Masterclass, where we'll be getting an introduction to the basics of selling Spain. I'd like to welcome Pedro Medina, the Deputy Director at the Spanish Tourist Office. Hi, Pedro.
Hi, good morning.
Now, if you've never sold a holiday to Spain before, or perhaps you need a refresher, then this is the masterclass for you. In it, we're going to cover all of the essential information that you need to sell holidays to the destination. And remember, as we go through, if you have any questions at all, just pop them in the chat box and we'll cover those in the Q&A session. So firstly, Pedro, tell us how clients from the UK and Ireland can get to Spain and the different transport options that are available to them.
Well, first of all, good morning to everybody. I am very happy to be here with all of you, and thank you for the opportunity that you gave me. Regarding the question that you have made, well, sorry if I make some mistakes in English. I have spent a whole month in Spain, and maybe now I'm keep on thinking on Spanish in my mind, so maybe I make some mistakes.
Spain on the brain.
I will try to do my best. Thank you. Well, there are many ways to travel to Spain. It's normal to go by plane. Spain and the United Kingdom are two of the best connected countries in the world. 10 years ago, they were the best connected countries in the world with more than 700 daily flights, daily connections. In just 1 hour and 20 minutes, you can be in the north of Spain by plane. And to go to the Canary Island, which is the farthest Spanish destination, the flight takes like 4 hours.
Okay.
It is very easy to travel to Madrid. From Madrid, then you can travel by high-speed train to almost the entire national territory. However, now that we are all concerned about sustainability, there are more ways to go to Spain. By car, from London to San Sebastian, it is about 13 hours, and to go to Madrid by car, it's about 17 hours. Right. You can also go by train to Paris very easily, and from Paris to Barcelona by train. Or why don't you spend a night on board of a ferry, and then in 1 day you plan yourself in Bilbao or Santander. Really, distance is not an obstacle to go to Spain, to travel to Spain, and you have to bear in mind that nearby destinations are the ones that are truly sustainable when we are talking about environment.
Wonderful, thank you. And could you tell us a bit about the geography of Spain and where travellers from the UK and Ireland are traditionally drawn towards?
Yeah, well, diversity. Spain is a country with an impressive diversity. The north of Spain has nothing to do with the south of Spain, and the Balearics with the Canary Islands. They are very different. It is a country with the second highest orography in Europe after Switzerland. For example, do you know that you can ski 30 minutes away from Madrid, or even that you can ski and less than an hour you can go to the beach in Granada? So you can spend the morning skiing, and then in the evening you can go to the beach in Granada, for example. Wow. Spain is a very mountainous country, as I told you. We have the Pyrenees and the Picos de Europa, which are natural paradises. But we also have another mountainous system throughout the peninsula. For example, there are sierras, impressive sierras in Cuenca, Teruel, Jaén. Madrid is also a very mountainous region. And diversity is impressive. For example, the north of Spain, we usually call the north of Spain the green Spain because it is very wet, it's humid, it is green. It is very similar to the south of England. British travelers usually look for sand and beach. Spain is known as a sand and beach destination, and it is very important. It's a treasure that we have. But if you are only focused on that, I believe that you are not knowing how much the country can offer to you.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, I know you have a video that gives a really great introduction to Spain, so let's watch that now.
Spain is warm because of its great climate and because of its privileged geographical location. Diverse because of the variety of its scenery, of its people, and of its culture. Historical, and it conserves the legacy of important civilizations which have left their mark. Joyful and passionate. Open and welcoming for everyone who visits us. Spain is art. The cradle of world-famous artists and museums. Innovative and sustainable. Promoting innovative models and solutions for sustainable development. Hospitable. With a range of hotels internationally recognized for their quality. Connected. A country connected to the world by land, air, and sea. With a modern rail network with 3,500 kilometers of high-speed rail and 292 marinas around the country. A country for enjoying unforgettable experiences. Spain is what you deserve.
Oh, that's a great taster of Spain. Thank you, Pedro.
Yeah, well,
Now,
the video talks about the diversity that I was talking.
it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
It's a great snapshot of everything that's on offer.
Yes.
Now, it also spoke about how well connected Spain is. Could you tell us a little bit about the best ways for clients to get around Spain and what your transport is like?
Well, in this question, I have to talk about the high-speed train network that Spain has. Spain is one of the countries in the world with more high-speed trains, more high-speed kilometers of both built kilometers under construction or even planned. It is a radial network that it passes from Madrid, the center of the peninsula, and goes in all directions, north, south, west, and east. It's very easy to be in 2 hours in the beach from Madrid by train, and going to the north from Madrid can take 4 hours. And this time will be reduced in the coming months as new kilometers of high-speed trains are released. In addition, I have to tell you that rail transport has been liberalized in Spain, and there are new companies operating and offering low-cost tickets. For example, you can go to Tarragona, Valencia, in the coming months also Malaga. You can go by train in a high-speed train for 20 euros. So it's very easy to move throughout the national territory by train. The road network is also impressive, excellent, and although at first it was designed as a radial network, now you can cross the peninsula by highway without having to pass through Madrid.
I see. Perfect. That's useful. Cuts out the traffic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Lovely. And then thinking about the weather, what weather can clients expect at different times of the year?
Well, as you probably know, Spain is a country with a very good weather, and you can go all year round. I always talk about Spain as an all year round destination. From Madrid to the north, the weather is continental, so there are cold winters, but well, you are talking with a Spaniard. So, and for me, when it's 15 degrees and it's raining, it's the end of the world. So
Yeah.
maybe when I am talking about cold winters, maybe it's not the same for
Not the
you.
same as ours.
From Madrid to the south, the weather is Mediterranean. Also, the entire Mediterranean arc has a very good climate, and the sea tempers match both summers and winters. Definitely the best time to enjoy any Spanish region would be May, June, September, October, but that doesn't mean that you can find sunny days in winter, for example. Balearic Island is linked to a destination of sun and beach, but it is very different from the Canary Island. And if you go in winter to the Balearics, you will be able to discover a different island with different activities than sun and beach. The Canary Islands, on the other hand, is well, Canary Island has its peak season in winter, although it has very regular temperatures throughout the year, almost 25 degrees all year. Once again, the sea softens a lot the weather.
Perfect. And I was going to ask if there's a particular time of year that agents should be promoting the country to their clients, but for you, it really is an all-round destination, all year-round destination.
Yeah, well, if we are talking about Canary Island, the best time is to promote them. This region is winter, but the rest of Spain is all year-round destination, and Canary Island in summer is also incredible. So.
Perfect. Thank you. And tell us about the language, because there's not just one language spoken in Spain, is there?
Yeah, well, in Spain there are 5 official languages: Spanish, Catalan, Basque, Galician, and Valencian. Young people speak better and better English, hopefully better than me. In any case, if you speak Spanish, you can understand with everyone. You will not find any problems in those regions with their own language. For example, if you go to Catalonia and you are speaking in Spanish, everybody will understand you as well. Everybody speaks Spanish in Basque Country, so you won't have any kind of problem. All languages are officials, and the Spanish government is bound to address citizens in the language that they choose that they wish. A part of this, well, we also have different accents. Spanish is spoken very different in the north of Spain than in the south. We also have our jokes, like here in United Kingdom, about the different accents that we have, no? And in addition, maybe in the future that we will have more official languages, because, for example, the Bable in Asturias, now the government is studying in order to see if Bable could be an official language in Spain. Or even the Silbo Canario is the Silbo Canario. Well, is a whistle. It's a whistle language practiced by some inhabitants in the Canary Islands to communicate through valleys and through the mountains. Well, they whistle, and with different sounds they understand themselves. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And now we also have to talk about your amazing beaches. You touched on them briefly before, but tell us why they're so spectacular and which particular beaches agents should have on their radar.
Well, Charlotte, this is the most difficult question, the hardest question for me. I just can't keep a region. There are incredible beaches in the north of Spain. Not to mention Corrubedo in Galicia, or the wonderful Asturian beaches, Llanes, for example, or Cantabrians, Santander, Comillas, San Vicente de la Barquera in the north of Spain. Wonderful beaches. The entire Mediterranean arc is impressive, and in Andalusia you have a huge coastline. Well, personally, I would stay with the beach of La Barrosa in Cádiz, the beach of Playas Jandía in Fuerteventura, and any beach in Formentera or Ibiza. But I'm not being fair, because I'm leaving out a lot of very special beaches throughout the entire territory. But these are my 3 personal recommendations.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Top tips there. And can you set the culinary scene for us? What can visitors expect to eat and drink, and what are your must-try dishes?
Well, diversity also applies to this question. Everyone thinks of paella, no? This is when you are talking about Spain, everybody thinks of paella. By the way, in Spain, we don't have paella to have dinner. It's only for lunch. And paella never has chorizo.
Oh, right. That's something we've added.
but every region has its speciality. Spanish gastronomy took over from French gastronomy in terms of avant-garde and modernization, and that impulse has moved to popular gastronomy. Today you can find wonderful restaurants in small villages throughout Spain. Each region, as I told you, has its own speciality of dishes and desserts. The Basque Country or Asturias or Galicia are impressive in this sense, but the south is not left behind with its own products. For example, in Catalonia, you can find vermouth, or in Menorca, they have a special gin. Valencia is the kingdom of paella, but in Andalusia, you have a very rich cuisine with gazpacho, salmorejo. The fish in the north is amazing. Also in the south, in Cadiz, the tuna is wonderful. So well, there is a lot of diversity. I would say that the national dish would be the tortilla, the Spanish omelette. More important than paella, because all the country has its own way of cooking tortilla. No? There is a national debate. The country is divided between those who think that tortilla has onion and those who don't think that tortilla has. But it is not a debate, because for me, if the tortilla has not onion, then it is not a real tortilla.
Not a tortilla. Oh, that's good to know. Look for the onion. Perfect. And then thinking about client types, who should agents be promoting Spain to?
I would say that wine lovers should discover surprising and unknown Spanish wine areas, such as the Rías Bajas or Toro in Castile of León. The wines of Malaga or Alicante are also impressive, or even the Canary Island has volcanic wines. Okay. Spain is known for its Riojas and Ribera del Duero, where you can find very modern wineries. For example, there is a winery in Rioja, and the building of this winery is very similar to the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. The building is the same architect who designed both buildings. So in Rioja and in Ribera del Duero, you have very important wineries. They are very well known in the world. But having said that, there are more regions and more wines less known in Spain. So I would say it's a good niche for travel agents to be focused on.
Perfect. And then thinking about clients who are really interested in your key cultural highlights, what should agents be talking to those clients about?
Well, Malaga and Bilbao are two of the Spanish cities that have been transformed most thanks to the opening of new museums they have had. This year is the 25th anniversary of Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, and Malaga has transformed the city thanks to its cultural model, and there has been new openings, new museums in Malaga, the Thyssen, Museo Picasso, the Pompidou also has a new museum in Malaga. So I would say that Malaga, for example, has its touristic model has been transformed completely in 20 years. Madrid, for example, has managed to incorporate to the heritage of humanity the so-called landscape of light, where the so-called triangle of art, Museo del Prado, Thyssen, and Reina Sofia are housed. So, well, when we are talking about cultural highlights in Spain, I have to talk about museums. Museums, well, you can find an incredible offer throughout the country. There is a new opening in Madrid. Last July, a new museum, the Museum of Royal Collection, has been opened. I haven't been there, but I come from Madrid, so in my next trip Madrid, I will try to be there.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then thinking about sporty clients, what have you got to offer them? What can agents tempt their sporty clients with?
Well, regarding sport, Spain is a perfect place to practice all kind of sports due to its weather and facilities. In this sense, I remind you that in Finca Cortesin will be held in a couple of weeks the Solheim Cup. It's like the Ryder Cup, but for women. And also Spain hosted the Ryder Cup in Valderrama. So you can play golf in those courses as professionals do. Well, in Madrid and Barcelona, you can play golf 20 minutes from the airport. Barcelona will host the Copa America, the American Cup in 2024, next year. There are F1 Grand Prix in Barcelona. Well, there are 3 Grand Prix of bikes in Spain. There are a lot of opportunities to play and to see sports in Spain. Bernabeu or Nou Camp, the football stadiums of Madrid and Barcelona are among the most visited museums in Spain. But there are exciting stories, with other clubs such as Athletic de Bilbao, Seville, or Atlético de Madrid. I'm talking neutral because I am supporting Rayo Vallecano and Fulham, so I am neutral in this question, but many opportunities in Spain.
Perfect. And then thinking about clients who really enjoy the great outdoors and want to get out and about in nature, what can agents suggest that they do in Spain?
Yeah, well, in Spain we have 16 national parks. The last one was open in Malaga, in the Sierra of Malaga last year. And this national park, well, they solve very well the diversity that I am trying to communicate to this morning. It's very easily to hire a visit guide to this national park. You can book the visit by the website. It's free, and well, Spain is the country with more biosphere receipts in the world, granted by the UNESCO. Well, as I told you before, for example, Madrid is a big city, but in 20 minutes you are in the middle of a forest, in the mountains. Spain has a very rich natural patrimony.
Wonderful. And then thinking about families, give us a couple of top tips to promote Spain to families.
Well, recently an English friend told me that when he was a child, his family every 2 or 3 years they say, why we don't go this year to Asia or the Mediterranean or America? But after those trips, the following year they always return to Spain, because he told me they felt at home. It is a country with one of the highest standards of safety and quality of life in the world, with a gastronomy and diversity that always surprise. And apart from all of this, I think that British and Spaniards, we connect very, very fast and very well. Maybe because Spaniards, we talk very, we are very direct talking, and I don't know, but I feel that Spain and United Kingdom has a special relationship thanks to the tourism, and we always try to understand our cultures. It's impressive the British population living in Spain and the Spanish population living in the United Kingdom. I have to say that the Spaniards love UK. We love London and the Lake District, the everything. So.
Perfect. And then do you have any top tips for marketing a holiday to Spain that agents can use?
For me, the key point is diversity and comfort. Spain is a country that will always surprise precisely because how diverse it is. It is a country that has traditionally been known for a series of stereotypes that have nothing to do with reality. It is a very diverse, modern, cheerful, and comfortable destination for the British tourist.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pedro. So now we're going to move into the Q&A session of the masterclass. So if you have any questions at all about Spain for Pedro, please write them in the chat box now and we'll answer those for you. Hi, Pedro. We are ready to go through our questions. So thank you everyone for sharing all your questions. Really appreciate it. We're going to start with one from Jonathan. Now, Jonathan wants to know how accessible the trains and buses are in Spain for disabled people. Now, your colleague has popped in and said that they're really accessible. So tell us a bit more about that.
Well, all trains and buses in Spain are fully equipped to cater disabled passengers. All the infrastructure, all the stations, even the underground is accessible for disabled passengers because it is established by law. In Spain, is compulsory to adapt all the public infrastructure and all the infrastructure related to transportation to disabled passengers. So there won't be any kind of problem for this kind of passengers and tourists in Spain.
Brilliant. That's great to know. Thank you. And then we've got a comment from Lisa saying she wishes there were more northern flights to the Balearics in the winter because she wants to spend all of the winter in Ibiza, which sounds very sensible, Lisa. So for others who haven't been,
I would like to live in Ibiza in winter as well.
Tell us what people can expect in the Balearic Islands over the winter. What are they like, and what are the top things to do?
Well, I think it's very different. The Balearic Island is very different in winter than in summer. In summer, is the traditional sun and beach destination that everybody knows. But in winter, I love Mallorca in winter. Well, I love to see the sea on winter, and I love to be in the beach in winter as well. But a part of that, you also have, if you go to the Balearic Island on winter, you will live the real Balearic style of life. It's less crowded, and you have a lot of experience to live during winter in Ibiza or in Mallorca. I would say that it's a destination very linked in winter to those who want to do sporty activities.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you. And then we've got a question from Jessica who would like a bit more information about walking in Spain. What are your top tips and where are the best regions?
Well, I love this question because the easiest answer is to talk about the way of St. James that goes from the border with France to Santiago, and you walk the whole north of Spain. It took to do the whole way of St. James. It took 23 days. But there are other ways of St. James. There is the North Way. There is also the British Way. Now there are some stages signalized here in British territory, and then you take a ship and you go to Coruña. That's another kind of doing the way of St. James. But having said that, that's the best known walking product that we have in Spain to offer. But apart of that, I would like to talk about Vías Verdes. Vías Verdes are all railways that were in disuse, and now they have been refurbished and they have been transformed into walking paths.
Right.
And there are many green ways or Vías Verdes in Spain in all regions. Apart of that, you also can do the Silver Way, the Vía de la Plata, that goes from Seville to Santiago, from Seville to Gijón, and then you connect in Gijón with the Way of St. James, and then you go to Santiago. So there are many opportunities to do walking excursions and to have experience
Wonderful.
in
That
Spain.
sounds fabulous. Thank you. And Karen has asked if people from the UK are going to need a visa to visit Spain.
Sorry? People?
Karen would like to know if people travelling from the UK will need a visa to enter Spain.
Well, no. British travelers are allowed to go to Spain for a period of 19 days without visa. If you are going to stay for a longer period, then you will need a visa. But the first 90 days, you don't need to have a visa.
Brilliant. Thank you. And then Lizelle has asked if it's safe for single female travellers. So tell us a bit about that.
As I told you before, Spain is one of the safest countries in the world.
Yeah.
I would say that the Spanish society is very concerned about the situation of the women and trying to. I really feel that the Spanish society is trying to do its best to have equality of gender. There have been some laws in this sense, very important in Spain. I would say that it is a safe country for women who want to travel alone. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Noella would like to know the name of the wine region that we were talking about apart from Rioja. Can you give people a bit of a reminder of those top ones?
Yeah, well, apart of Rioja and Ribera del Duero, these are the two most famous wine regions in Spain. We have wines from all the Spanish regions. Now you can find a good quality wine in Madrid region. They do fantastic wines. Also in Andalucía, Extremadura, Murcia, Alicante, Valencia. All these regions have incredible wines to offer. Mallorca and Canary Island has incredible red and white wines to offer. Having said that, I would like to do a special mention to Rías Baixas in Galicia, because there are 2 or 3 white and red wines very special for me, such as Albariño, Godello, wines from Orense. Orense is a province which is in Galicia, in the border with Portugal. They offer spectacular wines and very unknown. I would say very unknown.
Perfect. Lots of great ones to try. Thank you. And then Janet's asked a really good question about the beaches. And she said, do all of the islands have volcanic black sand beaches, or do any of them have white sand beaches? So that's thinking about the islands.
Well, she's talking about Canary Island, because Balearic Island is not volcanic. And in the Canary Island, there are 7 islands. And these islands are very different between them. Nothing to do El Hierro with Tenerife or Tenerife with Lanzarote. If you want to find sand beach, golden sandy beach, then you have to go to Gran Canaria or even to Fuerteventura. Lanzarote has to the island of Lanzarote. They have volcanic beaches with black sand as well, and Tenerife is also an island with a lot of beaches, different beaches, volcanic, sandy beach. So each island is very different between them. If you are looking for gold sand beach, then Gran Canaria, Fuerteventura. I would say that these are the most the island with this kind of beach.
Brilliant. Thank you. Hopefully that helps. And then we've got another brilliant question from Juliet. She's asked about the nightlife. So she said, obviously people love your nightlife in Spain, but what happens in winter? Does it completely stop, or is there still lots to attract people in the evening?
Spain is an all year round destination. For example, I spend my summers in a small village very close to Malaga. This village is Torre del Mar. And 20 years ago, maybe it was like that, but now nightlife is in Torre del Mar is all year because people from Malaga go there. So, and I would say this is the same in the rest of Spain. This summer, I read an article from an American journalist, and the title of the article was a question. She wanted to say, when do you sleep in Spain? Because the timetables are crazy, and you can have dinner at 12 in a restaurant. So I wouldn't say in summer it's more, the timetables are more flexible, but also in winter you can have a lot of nightlife and experiences.
Perfect. Thank you. And I think that's all of our questions looking at it. Thank you ever so much, everyone. If you do have any other questions, we'll try and answer them in another session. But thank you. And if you head back to the lobby, we'll move into our next session.